What's going on, guys? It's Rob here, and as promised, I said I would make a video on Hashluda, the daughter of Crota. Now, I am on this Destinipedia because it is something I can read off and make sure the facts are valid. Now, the first thing it says is a quote from Eris Morn that goes, "Do you feel it as I do, Guardian? A hatred as pure and potent as sunshine soaking through your skin. Hashluda knows what the Guardians have done. She watched her lineage fell, one after another, and she is eager to return that pain." Now, as well as that, it says, give me a second to get the whole thing up. Hashluda, daughter of Crota, also known as Inundated, I probably butchered that, is an ascendant hive wizard, the eldest of the daughters. Now, I wasn't aware that Crota had daughters, but now I am. Omnigul, will of Crota, of the eldest daughter of the hive god Crota, son of Oryx and Omnigul, as well as the granddaughter of Oryx. She is the architect of the Scarlet Keep, harnessing the nightmares of the pyramid that lies beneath. Hashluda lures the Guardians to the top of the Tower of Woe as a plot to take revenge for her fallen family, but fails in doing so and is killed by the Guardians and their fighting. Not in the last video, that was seen in my last video because I did the strike. But another thing it says is Hashluda began as an abnormally large and strong thrall. Viewing this as excessive, her father Crota ordered her ritually mutilated in the old way of floods, in order to reduce her to a normal size and strength. So he sent 100 thrall, 10 knights, and an ogre to retrieve her. Hashluda fought off the entire force, but was left exhausted after that. Crota himself came to her, impressed but unrelenting, and took her to the floodplain, deep within the ascendant plane, where she was impaled and exposed to I butchered that again, tides of the Sea of Screams, flooding her body 5 times with caustic and harmful substances. Now, as well as that, it says, after the 5 indurations, Hashluda broke free from her impalement, starving and wounded, and much reduced in form. On witnessing her crawled back to his throne world, Crota stated, "You are great now. You cannot love me. The parts of you that were mine have been taken from you. The parts that were his remain." Now, I believe he's talking about Oryx there, that the parts of her remain are only Oryx. Because in the strike, yes, you see standard fallen, not fallen, the standard hive, but you also see some taken in areas. Now it also goes, with all ties to Crota severed by the floods, and therefore rendered her closer to Oryx, Hashluda was sworn into her grandfather's court, much to her father's joy and grief, knowing that she could never set foot in his court again. So that caught me off guard because I didn't realise that. And it also so this is obviously her past. And when she comes back, it says, following the Taken War, Hashluda hid beneath the lunar surface alongside her sisters, Benchu, I'm not trying to say that, I will put it up on screen, Kinox and Vosher, and plotted their revenge against the Guardians for the deaths of her immediate family. Unable to accept a world without their king, Hashluda and her sisters enacted a plot to recreate their deceased grandfather in a form of fatism nightmare. So we saw that, actually, we did see that. We did a mission where we had to fight the nightmare Oryx. A necessary violation of the Sword of Logic, since the Taken King was never succeeded by his killers. They also believed that Oryx might yet truly be resurrected, having been defeated before and returning to life through sheer will and tribute to his name. As the Coven of Sisters worked to enact their sinister plot, they were still left to deal with conspirators and contenders for the vacancy of the champion left by their late father. Many of the Hive that still held old beliefs in the Sword of Logic gave way to gladiatorial combat in the pit beneath the keep. Though none of the sisters believed any were worthy of their father or grandfather's succession, Hashluda and her sisters attended the pit to witness gladiatorial games and silenced the two sisters as they expressed doubts about the fighters when the games began. So all I'm seeing there is that Hashluda was with her sisters and was, I guess, plotting against the Guardians, which obviously, as we know, didn't work because the Hive seemed to not get it, that were more powerful. But the things that, so trivia. As Hashludan's health bar nears empty, the green light of her helmet changes to a fairy orange. So another thing is Hashludan's death animation is similar to Nokris, Herald of Zol. And then Hashludan is the third largest wizard that the players have encountered, the first being Nokris and the second being Juinkura, the Eternal Return. Now, as I said, I promised you guys that I'd make a video on Hashluda. I don't know much about her. All I know is that she I'm assuming then, is the daughter of Crota and Omnigor, which would kind of make sense because we know Crota has a mother. We don't know who it, or we do know who it is. I'm not really into the lore at the moment. I need to get back into it. But it talks about the Scarlet Keep, with it saying, with their control over the hidden swan secured, the daughters of Crota rallied the remaining Hive on the moon and began construction of the Scarlet Keep, where they conducted experiments at the structure lying beneath the citadel using the forbidden cryptoglyph. Hashludan experimented with dark energy of the ancient pyramid and found no hope of truly restoring Oryx or Crota through their power. However, she and her sisters embraced Savuthan's recommendations and began crafting what remained of Zolmak into a fearsome champion of their own design and under their control. Through her experiments, Hashludan distilled the prematorial essence of terror and contributed it to the two sisters, rehapsing Zolmak's husk. After Erismorn's discovery of the pyramid unleashed phantasmal power, Hashludan utilized the Great Tower of the Scarlet Keep to channel its energy from their experiments, which summoned nightmares of great power across the moon, based on fears and past foes of the Guardians. When the Guardians invaded the moon to challenge the Hive resurgence, sorry about that, and the appearance of the nightmares, Hashludan personally encountered the Guardian who slew her father, mother, and grandfather at the bridge to the keep. Retreating to the top of the spire, Hashludan lured the Guardian and their fire team in her position to finally claim her revenge. Despite her powers and using the nightmares to her advantage like her family before, Hashludan fell to the Guardians. From her remains, the Guardians found evidence of cryptoglyph hidden at the bottom of the Hellmouth. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video, but don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll hit you guys back with the next video.